one message is to get the bride ready and prepared for the rapture. What can it do? According to Malachi 4, is bring them back to the faith that was once delivered to the saints. Bring them back to the faith of the fathers, the Pentecostal fire, in the restoration time. I will restore, saith the Lord. That's real end-time evangelism. Now I just want to say these couple words before I close. I'll bypass the rest of these scriptures. Maybe sometime can get to them. But I want to say this. We believe we're at the end time. We believe it.
Amen.
And though it seems like at the end time, at this time, that the message and messenger both is about broke. Looks like Satan has tried his best to rim-wreck us. Yeah. Brother Neville, his accident, Brother Crace there, and gun blowing it. See, it looks like, and right now, when every church out through there thumbs down on me. See, it looks like it's just about broke. Looks like we're defeated. Don't you worry. You know, it's usually at that time when God steps in on the scene of something He's been watching for a long time. You remember there's one time there's some children down in a fiery furnace. They were holding true to that word. Everything went wrong. They threw them in jail. They kept them overnight. They'd go to burn them up the next morning and looked like the end was near. They was walking right to the furnace. But He come riding down. The scene was all changed just in a moment. It's always in them weakest moments when it looks like the true message is about defeated. That's when God steps in. He lets the message and the messenger get to the end of the road. See? Then He comes in and He rides the high waves. That's right. Remember, it was Jesus when His enemies thought that they had Him defeated. The unbelievers said, we got Him on the cross. The Sadducees and Pharisees who hated Him and hung Him to a cross. They thought, we got Him now. It was about that time God rode in on the scene. Amen. Raised Him up on Easter morning and broke the kingdoms of Satan, stripped hell, took the keys of death and hell and rose up with Him. It was just at that weak time. His message He had preached, the word He had stood by and everything. Then it was that real weak moment that when the victory come, when He'd done all that He could do, then God came in. He changed the scene. It was Jacob running from Esau, dodging here and there, over to Reuel and the different ones and trying to hide from Esau. Then his heart began to yearn to go home, and on his road home, he sent messengers, he sent offerings and everything else trying to appease Esau. But it was when Jacob come to the end of himself. It was when Jacob didn't know which way to turn.
Amen.
He put his wife and children across the water, and he crossed back over the brook. It was when Jacob had wrestled all night until his strength was gone, and he was crippled, and he was weak, and his body was broke up. It was at that time when God come riding in on the scene.
Amen.
The next morning we find Him what? A fearless prince.
Amen.
After his weakness, it looked like he was defeated. But we find Him a fearless prince. The message was going on, and the messenger was with it. That's exactly right.
Amen.
He was a fearless prince the other day. Esau, even when he needed him worst. Esau, when he made it, and you remember, all that same time, God had worked on his brother's heart, too. That's right. And Esau come to him and said, I got armies here. Said, you're weak, Jacob. Your body's afflicted. You're broke. Said, I'll send soldiers along to protect you. Right when he needed them. But he had found something. Said, no, go alone. Amen. It's when he had recovered from that weakness. He had recovered from that shock. When Jesus had recovered from the shock of death, He was the strongest. He could go through a building without even moving a mortar of the stone. He could eat fish and bread. Amen. Oh yes. It was that time, after the weakness had come, that he found himself strong. It was after weakness had come. And it looks like it's pretty weak now for both message and messenger, but don't you worry. Somewhere I don't know how, but I'm trusting Him. He'll come riding in on the scene someday.
Amen.
Sure.